everybody? It is your boy, back out with another review, and today we are continuing our Lilo and Stitch review series, of course, building up to the newest film that is the live-action remake, and then that will be all climaxing in a big ranking coming out Saturday, so stay tuned for that as well. Today we are reviewing Lilo and Stitch 2 has a glitch. Stitch has a glitch. Sorry. Anyways, but before we get technical, beginning of the video, what's up, guys? Don't forget to use the app as a clap if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, also may be able to YouTube algorithm recommend the video to more people. Maybe they could join. That's it! And do feel free to comment your thoughts on Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch down below. But with that being said, guys, let's give a quick plot synopsis to the film, shall we? So transition and shoes, Life gets complicated for little Lilo after Stitch, the extraterrestrial pet created by bumbling alien scientist Dr. Jumba Jukiba, begins to malfunction. As Stitch's condition worsens, Lilo struggles to choreograph an original hula dance for an upcoming competition at her school. When she realizes something is terribly wrong, Lilo and Jukiba scramble to build an advanced device capable of saving Stitch from certain death. Alright, so with Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch has a glitch. I've only ever seen this movie once before. I pretty much never saw it again until when I watched it yesterday, for the second time. So, and I remember it being decent enough. I thought it was an okay sequel, and, well, let's just see what my current thoughts on the film are. Alright, so starting off with the good here, we have the animation. Now, usually with straight-to-video sequels of the Disney movies, the animation, like, drops in quality by a significant amount, as seen, like, with The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, and probably, realistically, could think of a bunch of other ones. But as for this one, actually, I think the animation pretty much looks the same. There's a couple spots here and there where you can tell it doesn't look as quite fluid as the original film, but still, it looks pretty much, for the most part, it looks pretty much equal with the original with how it looks in the animation. So I thought that was actually a big surprise walking out of this movie for a second time at how good the animation was, especially for straight-to-video sequels of a classic Disney movie. So I thought that was interesting. Also, the main story in here as well, I do like, where Stitch has this uncontrollable glitch, which I thought was an interesting approach to take from the first film, where the first film, him and Lilo are just meeting up and becoming friends. As to this one, there's a little bit more, like, emotion to it and kind of suspense to it. One thing that I remember from this movie when I watched it for the first time a few years back was how much emotion this one has compared to the last film, where there's a part in this film where you think the characters is actually gonna die, and they do die for a second, but I was expecting them to, I thought that's where they were gonna end it. That's what they were making it seem like. So this one has more emotions toward it compared to the first film as well, and you have this whole entire, as I said before, with this Stitch has a glitch storyline. Added to that, you have this kind of story that connects to it, where Stitch is trying to work his way good and help people all across Hawaii. So I thought that was definitely emotional too, how Stitch is trying to show everyone he's good, but then he keeps on doing bad stuff unintentionally because of his glitch. So I thought that definitely was effective for this film. Also, the Hawaii vibes are still present in this film. Not as fluent as the original film, I won't lie, with the Hawaiian vibes. It was very much more, well, actually, no, it's pretty equal, because in this one you have Stitch kind of going out to explore, to help everyone in, like, different parts of Hawaii. So actually, it does pretty good with that, all things considered. So that is the good done. Now let's move on to the mixed aspects, which I only have one, and these are the parts of the film that I'm 50-50 on. And that is the ending. And I'm probably I am 50-50 on this. So the way it ends was, I get that it is
more oriented towards kids, so you don't want a depressing ending, but still, there was a way to end this that possibly could have been made this stand out compared to other Disney animated sequels that went to straight to video.
So yeah, that was a mixed. That was a missed opportunity to me, but I get why they did that, because I wouldn't necessarily want to see that character die either, and that would have been pretty sad. Walking out, just getting done with the movie, and then probably 50 billion kids would just go like, "Oh, yeah," and start crying, and then the parents throw out the disc and stuff. So, yeah, I was 50-50 on that, because I get it from a perspective of your fandom, but still, they could have ended it in a very sad way that could have been touching for, like, straight to home video movies. You get it. Alright, so that's the mix done. Now let's move on to the back. I only have 3, really. And that is Jumba not telling anyone about Stitch's glitch. I think I thought this was weird originally, too, when I watched this for the first time, because
He's his project, so why would he not tell anyone about this malfunction with his project?
kind of brings me into my next negative. Way too many subplots in here. So you have the main storyline of Stitch has a glitch, which it feels as if at times it's kind of getting overshadowed by the subplot storylines, where you have Lilo practicing for a luau competition. And then you also have this storyline where David's trying to plan stuff with Nani, but Nani gets too busy when riled up with work and then taking care of the Lilo and Stitch. So I thought that storyline was probably the weakest storyline out of the movie. And then as for Jumbo and Pleakley, Pleakley helps Danny with Nani, but Jumbo is pretty much doing nothing in this movie at all, really. So yeah, I thought that was but that is that done. Now let's move on to the final negative of the movie, and that is the conflicts in the film. And this is one of the issues I did have with the first film, where I found kind of the conflicts came a little out of nowhere.
And here it's even more so, really, because I think there's more of a conflict because Lilo and Stitch known each other longer, but still, I feel like Lilo would be open to him.
But other than that, as for straight to home video sequels go, this is actually one of the better ones by Disney. And now let's bring out the toxic meter. And I'm actually going to give this a Toxic Goodness, a B+. I actually really like this sequel, and it does do things that I think warrant a sequel compared to a bunch of other Disney animated movies. For example, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, and then there's probably other ones I can think of, like Fox and the Hound 2. I haven't seen that in years. But and Cinderella 2 and Cinderella 3. So, like, it actually warrants a sequel, unlike a bunch of other Disney movies. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is just my thoughts on Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch Has a Glitch. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on the film down below. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace.